And after action in Australia, we head back to North America, just a stone's throw from Steel City as we run out of space here on the trail to the grand finale at Tustin. It's the penultimate round of the World of Racing Pro Series here at Pittsburgh International Race Complex. Hi, everybody. Jackson Lambros alongside Sagar Bakshi. Back-to-back nights, Sagar, but we're starting to run out of time here, and it's starting to get to crunch time here for Pro Series and punching those tickets to Tustin.
Absolutely. This is going to be a phenomenal round, and it's time for the drivers to really lay it all on the line to try to get their tickets down to Tustin to compete for the finale event that will be announced after this event for sure. This is going to be a humdinger of an event, and this is a track that a lot of drivers aren't too familiar with or aren't accustomed to running. So this will be really telling to see who's the most adaptive of the field. Without any further delay, let's get down to the qualifying and see what the drivers are all up to, Jackson.
That a lot of these drivers are going to be familiar with as we're on board the Ferrari 296 GT3. Again, as you mentioned though, Sagar, not a venue. A lot of these guys have had a lot of seat time, if any, before, as we've worked our way to Steel City, Pittsburgh International Race Complex. And Sagar, I know you were doing your homework just before we got live. I feel like you might have a couple fun facts here to share with us.
Yeah, track length of 2.78 miles, combining the northern loop and the lower loop, the south end of the track. Founded in July of 2022. It's got 19 corners, 11 to the right, 8 to the left. Elevation change that's pretty dramatic, around 85 feet, coming through the northern loop section. We're in Wampum, Beaver County, Pennsylvania, about 45 miles, as you said, northwest of Pittsburgh. It's one of the few tracks that's actually located near the heart of a major city. So it's very unique, and this is home to some SCCA racing, as well as NASA and club level endurance events, Moto America Superbikes, autocross, karting, and drifting events as well.
And just working his way to the top, that would be one of your points leaders, Ryan Fitz in the 69 machine, as Rick, who wowed us at Twin Ring Motegi, trying to work his way into the mix as well. 27 seconds off pace, has not had a lap he is happy with just yet. But as you heard from Sagar, a handful of different racing series to come here. On top of what he mentioned, a lot of regional stuff, a lot of club level stuff, but also the Trans Am Series, the Atlantic Championship, the Champ Car Endurance Series, and others. But if you heard me talk just a couple of weeks ago, we talked about, unfortunately, the heartbreak behind this track and the news that just at the start of this month, or excuse me, now October 1st, track owners Jim and Kathy Stout making the announcement that the property would indeed be sold, and more likely than not going to be turned into a data center. So following December 21st of this year, looks like it's going to be shut down for well, looks like unfortunately for good. We'll have to wait and see. I know there's a GoFundMe in progress trying to save it. But it's heartbreaking for a plethora of reasons. This is a track that really is, as we mentioned, not just close to Pittsburgh, but in that kind of northeastern part of America, not a lot of other places you can get your racing fix, and it does it very well for a wide variety of different racing disciplines. Obviously road racing, but as Sagar mentioned, drifting, drag racing, motorbike racing, NWKA, the Karting Alliance hosts club races here as well. I believe some national level karting races have been here. So unfortunately, very, very heartbreaking. Only time will tell whether or not this will remain. But thanks to the beauty of sim racing, we've had a handful of real life tracks exist now only in the virtual world. You think about, obviously Riverside a little bit closer to me and Sagar, some of the more obvious historical remnants, but a handful of Australian circuits which have unfortunately only been survived in the virtual form. Fontana Auto Club Speedway now making that move, as that will increasingly unlikely be becoming a bull ring and probably become an Amazon warehouse as well. So heartbreaking in real life, but the sad distribution, the sad reality of, well, reality sometimes. But let's not try and turn this into a tearjerker and turn our eyes to the track here, because it is really getting close already up in front. Ryan and William just a second and a half out in front. This is Christopher in the 51 trying to close that gap. 15 cars on track tonight from 3 different centers, maybe 4, I have to double check, but again, it's probably getting late there over in Kansas City. Aaron Fitz, no, not enough improvement there for the front row, but does improve to 135.601, getting close there to second.
It's looking pretty tight at the front end of the field. Last lap, best lap will be given out for the drivers. 135.4 for Ryan, 135.5 for William. Aaron with a 135.6, 135.9 for Andrew, running in 4th position. Roman down into the 136s, 136.3. But he's still within 1 second spitting distance of Ryan at the front of the grid. Now on board with Chris, looking for a run of things before he gets to the line. Currently running in 8th place. The driver's best time is a 136.751. Will they find any major improvement when he gets to the line? It is a 136.0, slots in just in front of Roman, the driver in 6th position. Very good run for Chris currently with 8 minutes left to go in qualifying. I think the drivers are getting a little bit more comfortable with the track conditions.
I think it's really caught a lot of people off because, again, not only is it a brand new circuit, and I think there's certainly a lot to love in this full circuit combination. You have this first and second straightaway, this 90-degree left-hander, so 2 really good overtaking opportunities to start and end the lap. But it gets really technical really quick getting into that middle sector. Once we get to the back straightaway, I don't want to call it full-on Suzuka, maybe a little bit more like your VIRs or your Road Atlantas.
Yeah.
Not super cold and calculated, some stuff off camber. You're definitely working with the bumps and undulations. So going to be definitely challenging for sure. But Chris, really, I was about to say how locked in he was, but just carried a little bit too much speed there. That is coming into turn number 11, just the end of that kind of run. I want to call this kind of like a shoe kind of ordeal, but I'm trying to figure out where we would put the boot and where we would put kind of like the ankle of this. It definitely feels like the heel, I suppose, would be turn 11 or turn 12, that right-hander there. I'm trying to do this in my head. It's hard to tell though with this configuration.
Yeah, it's really hard on us. It's even harder on the drivers to keep everything straight because there are so many blind cresting apexes and challenges to this race course. It is very tight and twisty, so the drivers really have to contend with all these technical bits along the racetrack, focusing on your exits more than your entry, because these exits typically lead into uphill sections where you want to carry as much speed as possible out and up the hill. Dylan in 13th position, getting to the line, 1:37.316, currently his best time. But we've seen Dylan get these great laps in towards the end of qualifying. If that's the same Dylan from last night, he did very well in the MX-5s the previous night, and hopefully has done his practice for the 296s here at Pittsburgh.
Pretty fast jump, though, going from the MX-5 Cups to a Ferrari 296. You got a very exotic suite of electronics to help you out. Plethora of TCS, ABS able to help you out. So
2 TCs.
So a pre-cut and a secondary cut. So after you, it's more of that second traction control Sauger is more of a wet weather or sort of like a launch control. So like if I'm on the very limit, I can kind of give myself that second safety net where if I am allowing wheel slip, how much of that spin am I actually allowing?
Yep.
So it's that double layer, and I've talked about this every time we've seen this car race on track, but auto migrating brake system, which I love. It's kind of like a set and forget system, so your brake balance from the front to the rear adjusts on the fly in braking zones. If it feels like you need a little bit more traction in the front, moves that bias to the front. Vice versa, if you feel like you need a little bit more stability in the rear, moves that bias a little bit more to the back. That's phenomenal in looser conditions, maybe track that has lower rubber. It's phenomenal in wet weather racing. Not exactly something these guys are going to be leaning on too much in a all dry optimum track, but we shall see. I'm looking at these curbs though, Sauger, and that is what's really jumping out of the page to me here, because it is very flat. It's giving you plenty of space to really cut the corner, run shallow and run wide. But you look at where some of these curves are, it is few and far between, as you got some cuts there allowing some of the access roads to go through. But you look at where some of the runoff curbing is, it's like, you see it right there as well. Just very small amounts. So that it's letting you get that runoff. Phenomenal example right there, coming out of turn 13. It lets you run off, but in the slightest of margins. So you gotta overdrive in just the right amounts.
Absolutely true. We'll look at the track conditions just outside of track limits. It's nothing but grass. This is definitely not an FIA grade 1 circuit. There's not any gravel traps to be seen on the racetrack to keep you out of the catch fencing, away from the armcos of the like. Roman with a 1:35.870, good enough for a 4th position there. Knock that back to 5th position as Chris sets a 1:35.855. Nips right into 4th place, right behind William, in front of Roman. A little bit of a sandwich there for Chris. What about Dylan, working his way up into 9th place, back from 14th position, but a big drift into that first corner will cost him that lap. With 3 minutes left to go, this is all up to Rick now. The driver in 15th position, running a 1:38.629, currently coming around the top of the key, the big old hairpin, and down to the start finish line. Where will Rick find themselves? 14th position with a 1:37.342.
So that'll drop Kobe back to 15th. That's the battle for the best of the rest. Looks like Roman just improved to the top 5 as well, as he's got a seat at the table. So you're starting to see your groups on early. Ryan back to William, very closely bunched up. Then pretty much from 4th on back to, let's call it 6th there with Andrew. Those guys are definitely going to be battling for that second kind of group. And then it's kind of the best of the rest from Christopher on back. A lot of these guys really trying to learn the track limits of, again, this circuit that is so new to a lot of these drivers. But again, it's the way this qualifying will be set for race number 1. Then we'll flip the top 10. How's that for Cody? A big wiggle there coming out of the final corner. But we'll flip the top 10 going into race number 2, give some guys an opportunity to start out in front, make the fast guys work for it in the second race. Always something that's going to be something interesting to watch, but we will have to wait and see, because off rip, Sauger, I have not driven this track personally. It's looking like it's going to be really difficult to get these moves out on track.
Very, very true. This is a tight and technical circuit, and the track width is very narrow here. So I don't expect to see a ton of overtaking opportunities just show up here and there. It's going to be really reliant on the mistakes that the drivers are making through these corners, possibly running a little too far wide. Let's right on board with Cody right now and see how he's negotiating the tight and twisty backside of the circuit. And coming around the backside, he's looking pretty apt and mounting those curbs that Jackson was talking about a little earlier on and touching them. Just a brief kiss, as you said, to run off a little bit wide, but not egregiously breach track limits.
It feels like curbing that is tailor-made for club racing. Flat, very, very long. Oh, Cody and Clay going around there. Just getting off the brakes a little bit too quickly there, it looked like Sauger. And we talked about trail braking, letting you rotate the car. That was a little bit too quickly. You're off the brakes, putting all of that load on the rear tires, overloading them. Just a big, slow, lazy spin. So that will unfortunately be another lap gone for Rick. He's got 10 seconds to go here, so we'll have one more go at it. And it'll be one more go for Aaron as well, as he'll try and find his way to the front of the field. He's needed about a 10th and a half here to get to Ryan Fitz. It'll be another all Fitz front row if William and Chris just a little bit further back have anything to do about it. Roman out early. He'll be the first one to retire. Ryan, no improvement for him. So the numbers for the pole are needed. They are written on the wall. 140. The gap needed for Ryan, 152 for William, who needs far less simply to get to the front row. Coming out of this back half of the track, a little bit of a drag in the grass there, as man, William on the absolute limit there.
Looking pretty good, but not good enough coming out of the final corner. A huge moment of oversteer as he mounted the curb on the inside. It looked like he was just touching a slip and slide there. Lost traction on the right wheels and then almost spun out, as we saw just a few laps ago. 136.096 will be the best that he can do. William has a purple sector 1 and a green sector 2. Can he make it all purple when he gets to the line? It'll be not a Fitz front row, a 135.5. Nips in between the two Fitz brothers.
And you can see just how much of being on the knife edge that was there for William Rasmussen, as he was really struggling with car balance there, trying to start that cool down lap. How about you, Ollie, working his way to the line? 2 gains on the 2 improvements in the other sectors. Is there enough to move forward? Improvement, but not on position. So it'll be P8 for him. Spencer just coming to the line at 2, so that will be all she wrote for our last 3 weeks. William Rasmussen finally able to break that up.
Really good looking qualifying for the drivers right now. It'll be Ryan, William, Aaron, Chris, Roman, Andrew, Christopher, Ali, Dylan, and Cody to round out the top 10 here tonight with World of Racing. The Pro Series Championship is very much still on. Man, what are we in store for? Have you seen racing at Pittsburgh International before, Jackson?
A little bit for Trans Am, and that's about as quick as, I would say, roughly the pace of these GT3 machineries, maybe a tad slower. I'll say this off rip. If we thought that maybe the cars were a little bit too quick on track when we saw the GTPs at Motegi, this is going to be very much the same flavor, because we haven't seen a lot of quicker machinery here. Yes, we've seen open wheelers and a couple of prototypes, but that's LMP3s, I think maybe some Formula 2 stuff. So this is really catching a lot of people by surprise, I think, on how much we've already seen guys in practice set up a couple opportunities off rip. I think going into turn number 13, turn number 3, that kind of right and left chicane you see on the right-hand side of your screen, that's going to be a really big opportunity. I'm trying to think of where else, maybe turn 7 as well. But it's such a flow state track overall, very high speed. That makes it difficult because you don't have that slow kind of stop-start areas where you can really dive bomb and give those opportunities.
That's a really good point, Jackson. I hadn't thought about that. There really is no start-stop section or heavy braking zones that we're going to be facing, so no dive bombs that we can anticipate at the very least. I mean, we're looking forward to this race, obviously, but the challenge is going to be where you can overtake, right? Especially for heat number 2, when we're going to reverse the qualifying order and go back into a reverse top 10. That means that Cody, Dylan, Ali, and Christopher will lead the charge for heat number 2. And everybody at the front, Ryan, William, and Aaron, and Chris, have to work their way from the back.
We'll have to wait and see. So very quickly, this becomes a study session of sorts, right? It always has to be. And we're going to see what Dylan and Cody can do charging from P10. But really, they're going to be learning how to defend from Shan Young, Spencer, Clay right behind, trying to work their way into the top 10. They're going to be trying to adapt that. How am I going to be able to use that in about 30 minutes time when I'm on the front row and I've got some really, really fast guys behind me? What am I going to be able to do to use this time to learn, defend from the fast guys? What works for me to go offline, go down low? Where can I carry that speed? Where is it going to be maybe easier for them to overtake and it's better for me to stay on the racing line? I think by and large, though, Sagar, that's answers we still don't really know right now. And this first race, this 20-minute race, going to be a very big answer to everyone in setting the table for that second race. And it is absolutely going to be carnage.
Yeah, it's just so interesting because the northern track alone, the 1.6 miles, is known for its blind crests, high-speed S's, and technical downhill braking zones. It's a driver's favorite for flow, obviously. A south track was added in 2015, expanding the facility and adding more complex and technical corners for endurance and GT racing. When you combine the two now, you have something that's just unlike any other racetrack in the world, I feel like, especially with the corner layouts. We have 19 corners, 11 to the right, 8 to the left, and we have that Suzuka-esque section or VIR-esque section coming through corners number 7 all the way to corner number 11. It's just so interesting, but turns 16 through 19 are going to be the rhythm and feel section. The precision and momentum are critical through the sweeping corners of 16 through 19. That'll be the final spot that you can really overtake. And we saw a couple drivers get a little squirrely whirly coming out of that final corner or the penultimate corner. And I bet that's where we're going to see a lot of mistakes happen. And then the drag down to the checkered line is going to be really, really imperative.
You've got the flow of Road Atlanta in VIR. You've got the high speed of a Monza, and you've got the requirements of a high commitment that you see at pretty much any oval. You got the off-camber stuff that we've seen at Motegi. It's got a little bit of everything, but very different from what we saw at Vallelunga. It doesn't really all gel in a way that's a perfect test track. It's a perfect test for the drivers. You're not getting a great test of the aspects of the car because it's all kind of acting in a way that kind of makes the car upset. Off-camber corners, downhill braking. So it's very, very much a challenge, not just for the drivers, but as we talked about, this automatic migrating braking system here on these Ferraris. So we'll have to wait and see how these 15 drivers go and handle 20 minutes here in Steel City. We're going to step away and take a break for just a couple minutes here, but when we come back, it's race 1 from Steel City here in the World of Racing Pro Series. Stay with us. Drivers starting to work back over to their sims here for race number 1. Jackson Lambros, Sagar Bakshi here walking you through our 2 races here for the penultimate round of the Pro Series. And I'm trying to remember how the math is mathing out here, but I believe it is our last qualifier next weekend and then the grand final. That will be at our Tustin Center. Still got to talk to showrunner Donovan Janis about that, but would love to actually get SimSide for that. But we shall see. What we do need to see, though, is how this first race is going to play out. William on the front row, able to split our 2 brothers, Ryan and Aaron Fitz. Chris a little bit further back with Roman and Andrew trying to work their way into the mix. Starting to run out of opportunities here in the Pro Series. Only so many points left up for grabs. Let's see who can grab them here in Pittsburgh. We're green.
And what a good launch from Ryan on that front row alongside Williams. Not too shabby either, but has to slot in single file line. Oh. And there further back is a huge incident and cars are airborne. That's Aaron Fritz who got airborne there, and surely we will get a safety car restart. A VSC should surely be called after that major incident, and I believe that was instantaneously called out because Ryan is bobbing and weaving, trying to generate heat into those tires.
Trying to get heat in those Pirellis, but off rip, man, we have never seen us go into VSC quicker than at that start. And probably should have mentioned, it does actually get a smidge narrower going into that first left-hander of turn 1. So, man, I mean, a venue that is more configured, shall I say, for time attack compared to road racing. Not like we don't normally see wheel-to-wheel racing here. Obviously, Trans Am, we see it. Grid Life visiting here numerous times. Believe that'll be the last major event that this venue will host. But man, that has shocked a lot of people in how quickly that has kind of unfurled the chaos. So Aaron Fitz very quickly now dropping back to 14th. Chris Lovell just behind. And now the question remains, are we going to fully reset here, or are we going to pull the green before the timing line? I feel like at this point we are more than likely close enough that we'll be okay. Here's your movers so far, Ryan and William, even on the front row, but some big reshuffles. And it looks like Chris Lovell maybe tagged Aaron earlier on. That's what kind of caused both of them to drag further back the field, further back in the field. This is what was going to be given to them regardless here in race 2. They would be sent back to 12th. So we're going to have to wait now and see what they can do from 14th and 15th respectfully.
And here we go for the race restart. Ryan is controlling the field coming out of the final corner in just a few moments time, the long kink. And it looks like a couple of drivers are getting restacked right now. and trying to go 2 by 2 on this restart currently, but the drivers at the front single file line. William getting challenged by Andrew from behind on the restart. It looks like Ryan was controlling the field really well earlier on. Clay T and Roman going after it wheel to wheel coming into corner number 2, and it looks like Clay got that one on Roman pretty quickly there.
That could have been a big stack up, nearly 3 wide, as Clay T now leads Roman as we work our way down the hill, down to turn number 8 for the first time. Clay T a little bit deep there on the throttle. That'll give an opportunity. And now Cody dropping as well. Looks like more trouble for Chris Lovell, because he's been stuck in 15th with front end damage to that Ferrari. Already over half a second off pace. What has happened to the 54? Aaron already up 2 positions. He's worked his way up into 12th. So that will have the brother Ryan Fitz at the helm right now, but not out of the woods yet. Cody goes around. Big trouble in the S's, and a big lick there for Cody, who has to rejoin. That might have been, unfortunately, I'm not sure if that was contact with Chris Sauger. I think he lost that on his own.
I think he lost it on his own coming in towards turn 12, I believe, is where he lost the grip, and it just turned into an ice rink underneath him. Nothing more to say about that, unfortunately. Roman, though, getting challenged by Clay side by side, coming around 16 and into 17. There's a big moment for Clay, and he hits the slip and slide. That is the ice rink of the grass. A set of course of grass is just like an ice rink, but now Ryan pulls out the fastest lap of the race, a 1:36.688. But up here we've got a two-way battle between Roman and Spencer, who gets bumped out a little wide. A little bit of contact indeed, and Chris Lovell trying to challenge his way forward now, but still has Rick in tow. Looking towards the inside line is Rick. Rick pulls that one out, but gets a little love tap from Chris Lovell, and now we've got a 3-way scrap brewing for this Ferrari 296 challenge.
Oh my God, how about that? Oh my goodness, Clay tried mowing the lawn there, going around the outside.
Spencer.
Into turn number 8, that did not work, excuse me, it was Spencer who went way off into the grass and gone around. So all of a sudden, it becomes very clear as we see now Chris trying the inside of Rick, able to get on through, but that outside line is still exposed for Rick as now Clay tries to work on through. Rick able to hold him off for the time being, and very quickly, Sauger, it's appearing like you've only got realistically maybe 1 or 2 good overtaking opportunities on track. Turn 1 gets really narrow. You've got that runoff road on the outside. It really upsets the car once you're offline and going the long way around. So really, it's turn 3 and maybe turn 12 here that really stand out as good overtaking opportunities, but you gotta capitalize on the mistakes of the other guys, exactly what we were talking about earlier. Putting the pressure on guys just existing in the mirrors. What's up?
There might be just a few overtaking opportunities that, as you said, are good, but these guys are making all of them work in their favor. It doesn't matter where they are on the racetrack. They're going for moves. They know this is the final opportunity for them to head down to Tustin, California to compete in the World of Racing finale. And I don't see anybody leaving anything on the table tonight. Ryan gets passed by William coming through the final corner, though. William takes the lead of this event coming out of, I believe that is actually turn 6, excuse me, not the final corner. And this trio up at the front is nose to tail. We're going to keep an eye on this for the remainder.
All of a sudden, Andrew Janis right back in the mix as well. That third 69 machine, the Verstappen.com racing car. Shared livery there actually with Ryan Fitz. So that was a dive bomb, it looked like, into turn number 5, I believe. Yes, it was, where William has been able to lick the stamp and send it. Already a half-second gap. So with clean air on the nose of the 6 for the first time, we'll try and gain on track position between first and second. Looks like trouble for Chan Young as well, as he's dropping back significantly in the 51. What's happened to him, as he must have gone off track as well? Here comes Aaron now, trying to go around the outside of Cody. Oh my goodness, one of the fastest parts of the racetrack. But Aaron able to get that 11 up into 6. We want to talk about big time commitment there. Look no further
Yeah, fast laps coming out for the trio at the front. The purple times are indicative of the drivers' fastest laps that they've currently set, and I saw 3 purple times pop up in the left-hand side of my screen, so the 3 front runners are pushing as hard as they possibly can. That gap has opened up to 0.7 of a second from William to Ryan. Andrew still in tow, but just 0.7 back himself. Currently, Ali under threat from Aaron as the number 11 tries to find a way by. He has been shaking and baking, moving his way up the field. Very clean for himself. Checking in.
Could be another here. Let's see what he can do, because he's got a really good exit here on the inside of Ali. Sorry, he's trying to jump on top of you there, Sauger, as we work our way into the S's, and that door shuts. But Sauger, we already have to give our roses to Aaron Fitz in that kind of Brumos Racing 11. Is already gone from back of the pack here to P5 already. I'm calling him my favorite here for race 2. He's already gained 10 positions. He can absolutely do that again here in about half an hour.
Yes, he can. 11 minutes and 30 seconds remaining on the clock. Aaron is almost back to where he started. Dylan, a big shaker right now with 5 positions gained on the evening. But let's look back at Chris. Unfortunately tumbled down the order and has just been fighting his way through the pack, and he's only good enough for 10th position right now, side by side between Ali and Aaron, as Aaron is on the inside line coming out of the final corner and dragging it down towards corner number 1. Ali's going to hold on to the inside line, and Aaron is going to try to go the long way around the outside, but he's going to get a little squeezed, not too badly though, just barely a nose ahead currently, and the gap is next to nil, but Ali has to slot in behind Aaron currently.
What a move. Big time commitment there from Aaron Fitz in a corner we admitted was going to be difficult to get it done, but Aaron said no visibility, no problem, and gets that 11 up into P5. He is definitely not out of this yet though, because Ali is already looking for opportunities to swing on back, and all of a sudden it seems like if you're too wide before you make the corner, it's going to be able to be a done deal. Ali is able to roll that momentum and keep it too wide, but that inside line is still going to stick. If you're on the racing line, you're where you want to be to make that move, and that's how we saw Ali get caught up. It's just those late lunges into turn 1 where we've seen so much chaos. Ooh, one car off big time there. That's Dylan, who's got it all sorts of wrong there, backing it up into the barrier. I want to say this is turn 12. Yes, it is. So maybe another move there. I'll say this, I think that was maybe Dylan just tagging the grass there coming to the outside of turn 11, because Sauger, as we mentioned, sometimes it really does feel like ice getting into the grass here in Assetto Corsa. I think it might make your car actually quicker in some cases.
Yeah, we've seen that in the TCRs when we were running at, remind me the last track, The Bend, where the TCRs or the V8 Holdens were getting a lick of the grass on the runoff areas and running a little bit faster than not. So it is super effective in Assetto Corsa to use the grass to your advantage, but in the GT3s, I don't see it working out too well for the drivers. You see a little bit of shaving off at corner number 1 when they start the lap, but nothing too egregious, and definitely not breaching track limits here in Pittsburgh, that's for sure. And now things have quieted down with 8 minutes and 45 seconds remaining. Do you think we've turned into time attack mode, Jackson?
I think already, yeah. If you haven't found a dance partner, it's get your head down, work on that single lap pace, but I think immediately it's become apparent. We've already seen it in qualifying. If you give it that extra 5%, it is a gamble, because that can bite you back almost immediately. A lot of places, there's not a lot of curbing on the runoff, and if it is, it's not a lot. Some more food for thought here. This kind of curbing, great for MX-5 Cups, great for street cars trying to really eat those curbs. I would say actually not great if you're in a Ferrari GT3 car, because you're so low and these curbs are so wide. That extra bump up, there's a couple scenarios. A lot of British tracks have these style of curbing as well, where it's sometimes you're actually getting 1 or 2 wheels up in the air, and it's actually the diffuser that's bottoming out. So you're essentially board sliding the car across the curbing. That's how we've seen a couple cars go around, especially if you're running a very, very low setup on ride height. are in a really fast part of the racetrack where the downforce is really doing its thing, pressing the car into the ground. So these guys need to be really careful. Turn 1, terrifying me. That grass on the outside, just a little bit, clipping one of the corners. If you're on throttle, you could go around immediately.
Absolutely true, but the drivers are well equipped to handle the challenges that Pittsburgh has been throwing at them. Right now we're looking at Roman chasing down Christopher, 9/10 the gap currently, and it looks like Roman has definitely found his dance partner. Want to give a shout out to everybody in the YouTube chat. Thank you very much, Christina. Let's go indeed. C-Trade says, good commentating, interviewing at ROK Jackson. Send It Sim Racing says, Aaron is killing it. You're absolutely right, Send It. You're absolutely right. Aaron is back up into 4th position after starting from the back of the field on lap number 2.
I gotta figure out who that is. Rock was awesome. Don't have Troy Ferguson in here tonight, but Andrew Janis in here who got cut out at Rock VLR in Junior. But a really great event. Talked about it way too much yesterday during MX5, but a great event. A lot of World of Racing people coming out. And a lot of guys use these centers to prep for real life racing events, whether it's time attack, whether it's, you know, I call it big car stuff, but we use it for karting events as well. A lot of guys who run in Adams Motorsports Park out in Riverside, the Force Cycle League, use this as a place to train. And the karting software is still very much a new up and coming thing, but a lot of guys, there's a reason why Samantha Tan uses this as the bona fide place to get ready for her SRO events. These Sigma Integrale systems, everything that is on offer here at these 4 locations, second to none in mimicking real life racing.
Very true, Jackson. These are the most high-tech pieces of equipment that you could possibly get your hands on as far as sim racing is concerned. And if you want to get your hands on some of that gear, check out worldofracing.com and check out the 4 locations across the United States and get yourself installed into sim racing. Whether you're a newcomer or you're an old-time sim racing head, this is a great time. I can't wait to install myself into one of these Sigma Integrale simulators one day and feel the undulations of VIR or even the changes in elevation at Laguna Seca coming down the corkscrew. An iconic track that's close to home for me, and I can't wait to drive it in one of these amazing simulators. Go ahead, Jackson.
No, I'm saying this would be probably a pretty good test of that Sigma Integrale system as well, just because of the bumps and undulations, just how much of that kind of flow state you got to be in, working back and forth, and really getting the curb feedback is what really stands out to me, as both Cody and Ali overdrive just a little bit there, but getting that seat of the pants feel of knowing when the car is over the curb, just getting that extra peripheral of knowing, okay, I feel that drop in the suspension of the car going off the road just a little bit onto the curb or going off into the grass, and knowing that limit without necessarily using your eyes or using your hands, having something else to tell you, hey, you're going a little bit wide, hey, the car really loads in this corner. It is phenomenal. I wouldn't say it's great for pace. I think if you had what I've got at home, G920 and a Wheel Stand Pro, you are able to match that 1 lap pace. If I was given the opportunity, it's getting spicy on track here, so we'll jump off my tangent as we watch Cody slowly close this gap to Ali. This has been a really good fight this entire race, actually, as we've seen Christopher, Roman, everybody kind of reshuffling in this battle for the top 5. But we've really seen the overtaking opportunities narrow down to just a couple of real places here. Turn 1, I think, has caught a couple people by surprise as maybe not being a good opportunity. Turn 3, turn 5, definitely. That's how we've seen William Rasmussen get to the point. And we will have to see where Cody is going to be able to get that move. A little bit of a 3-car system developing further back. Christopher Roman, and I believe Chris further back. Chris Lovell on his return drive has indeed worked that 54 into the top 10, looking for a little bit more.
And with 3 minutes remaining on the clock, now is the opportunity to strike if there was any chance to make a move. But you know who's not making moves? That'll be Ryan up at the front, up in P2 currently. He's 2.5 seconds back from William. That is absolutely amazing that William was able to challenge forward and then had the pace and consistency to work his way around. Looking at Cody and Ali going side by side, heading down towards corner number 3, it looks like, and it's going to be a challenge for both of them to negotiate that safely, but they're managing to do that successfully right now and getting a little saucy. Ali still holds on to the lead in front of Cody, but this 3-way battle behind is about to turn into a 5-way battle if they keep on challenging each other like this for track position.
About that dive from Ali, being able to defend the inside became the outside there, was able to roll that momentum coming out of turn 3, and all of a sudden the inside became the outside through turns 4 and 5. And Sagar very quickly, that has brought Cody, Christopher, and Roman into this mix, and this becomes a 5-car battle for 5th.
Looking pretty good, looking pretty spicy on the racetrack right now. 145 remaining, so it should be a white flag lap, if I'm not mistaken, by the time the leader of William crosses it. And it's going to be very, very close. This will be the white flag lap for all of them coming into the, oh my goodness, that was a giant look from Christopher onto Cody, and I thought that they were going to make contact, but narrowly avoids doing so. Looking pretty good and well equipped to handle the undulations and challenges here. There's a lick of the stamp and a send up the inside line from Christopher going into Cody, and he goes off there and loses a position to Roman, and a 2-way battle turns into a 3-way battle further down the field. And we're going to take a look at this one. Roman on the inside line challenging next to Chris, who's level, is trying to come out and gets a little bit of rubbing his racing action going on into the bottom of the key. Level on the inside line, Roman on the outside there in the 296, and oh man, this is gonna remain spicy coming down the back straight, isn't it, Jackson?
Into turn 5 here, we'll see how long can they stay two abreast, finally going back to single file, and it'll be Chris Lovell out in front as he gains another position. Really great comeback drive for him, and again, waiting on the mistakes of others to make those moves and move on forward. But we are not done yet, because Christopher gonna try and take another spot from Roman. Only a handful of opportunities left, but out in front, I think it is just gonna be enough here to see the checkered flag. William Rasmussen got to the lead and was able to run away with it. That is gonna be 3 in a row for William. After going for 3 weeks straight, yet another victory here. Ryan and Andrew home to round out your first podium, with Aaron Fitz, Ollie rounding out your top 5. Let's jump in again though with Chris and Roman. This could be a drag race to the line. How about this? Chris to the line, Roman and Christopher will come home 8th and 9th, with Dylan, your MX5 winner yesterday, home in the top 10 here to round up race number 1. And boy, a lot of hard drives back to the front of the field. Chris Lovell from last essentially up to looks like 7th, and Aaron from last to 4th. But William Rasmussen victorious once again.
Amazing drive from William to work his way from the back of the pack of the front runners. I believe he came back in P2. Yes, he did come back in P2 for the start of this event. Had to work his way around Ryan Fitz, but was able to do so pretty well early on in the stint. Got about halfway through before he decided to make that move with a big send coming in towards turn 5. And Spencer and Cody rounding out the 15 drivers here tonight, but amazing overtaking opportunities presented themselves and worked their way forward. Big kudos to Chris for not giving up, only 3 positions down from where he started this race, but he's going to have to do all of this hard work one more time. Jackson, let's head back over to the broadcast booth before we take a quick break.
So looking at the stats here, Sagar, looks like in the vacuum, not counting the mistakes to get us started, looks like it was, I think it was Ali and Cody both able to gain 3 and 4 positions respective of their starting orders. But off rip, you got to be really looking out for Aaron Fitz, going to be starting at the back of the pack here for race number 2, but still looking very, very good on this circuit, knows where to overtake, knows how to get it done, and knows how to defend. We saw it earlier on, trying to fend off from Ali, just knowing how to carry that momentum and basically survive until the inside becomes the outside.
And that's really apparently what you have to do here at this racetrack, is just survive the undulation, survive the attacks, and then eventually the track will come back to you. But for now, let's take a quick break, folks. We'll recap what happened when we come back and we head into race number 2. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back in just about 10 minutes time. Thank you.
Cars on the grid for race number 2. Cody and Dylan get the promotion to the front of the field. Ali and Christopher right behind, but it is all eyes on William Rasmussen and Ryan Fitz from the back row to see what they can do. So too with Chris Lovell, P7. What can he do from the middle of the pack? Let's find out, and let's go racing in race number 2 here from Pittsburgh.
It's looking nice and tidy, but so was their previous race start that ended in safety car action, and that is definitely going to be another safety car, as many cars were involved in that coming down in towards corner number 1. And I believe Dylan and Ali are slowing down to accept the safety car, the virtual safety car, I should say. And they sure are. Dylan and Ali in first place, Cody in third, Aaron all the way up into 4th already, with Ryan in 5th, Spencer and William in 6th and 7th, Cody in 8th, Clay in 9th, and Rick rounding out your top 10 so far.
Andrew losing a position in the whole shot wasn't collected in that early incident, but looks like it was Christopher, Roman, the other Chris, and Chen Yong all getting involved there. I think that might have been the quickest we've ever seen might have been the quickest we've ever commentator cursed somebody. But here we go. Let's try that again here. So it'll be Dylan and Ali. Dylan, of course, your three-peat winner from the MX5 Cup yesterday. So we will have to see what he will be able to do from the front. A little bit quicker machinery, and I think just eked into the top 10 for race number 1. So we will see how long he can survive. But already, Aaron Fitz gaining a couple of positions there at the start, and is actually overtaken his brother now is in front of Ryan, both 4th and 5th respectively.
And let's see what we can do coming out of the final corner. Can Dylan fend off the attacking Ali, Cody, Aaron, Ryan, all trying to work their way up forward? And I wonder who was at fault for that incident going down and towards corner number 1, because some people made out like bandits on that restart and others fell further back. Chris Lovell in the 54 has to do all the hard work from the back of the pack, and the green goes flying, folks. And we are racing yet again at Pittsburgh International Circuit, headed down into corner number 1. It'll be side by side between Ali and Cody, single file once they exit corner number 1. William and Spencer going after it through corner number 1 as well. Just 2 tenths separating them, but further up the grid, Cody and Aaron challenging each other into corner number 3.
Look at this, Cody. This sets up the dive into turn number 4. Oh, that's textbook. Doesn't seem like a move going into turn 5, but throws the Uno reverse card, and all of a sudden, looks like Aaron Fitz going to be able to go through as well. Podium position in 2 laps. Could be even more here, as he's able to get all the way to the door of Cody. What a move from Aaron Fitz. Take a bow.
Looking pretty good for a podium position right now, barring any mistakes to happen to his race so far, and barring any penalties that he should incur as well from that race restart, should have anything been the cause of his own fault or doing. Christopher tumbles down the order down into 11th or 14th position. I can't quite tell, but we've got 2 cars run astray right now. Aaron Fitz really trying to put the work on in front right now, challenging for P2 and wants to escape with his life through the kink, gets the move done and dusted, and there's someone off. That'll be Ali, I believe, who's tumbling down the order, currently down into P10, run off during that kink.
Looks like a little bit of front end damage for him. But how about this? Already a 2-second gap developed between Dylan and Aaron. Ryan and Cody go at it a little bit further back. That's a done deal for Ryan Fitz. And all of a sudden, it's the twin Fitzes. Not actually the twin Fitzes. Not sure if they're twins. The brothers are in 2nd and 3rd already. But Cody might be waiting to get that Uno reverse card further back from 4th. Someone who was your race leader at some point has dropped back to 4th. But Dylan, able to see all of these guys battling right behind, has been able to run away with the cheese for the time being. What can Aaron Fitz do with his head down? William Rasmussen trying to make some moves as well. That's P8 taken from Clay T. Will try to make even more moves there from the Tustin driver.
Andrew looking like he wants to make a move on Cody,
Oh, no.
and Andrew gets tapped in the rear end in the 69 car from a spinning Cody S. I believe that's what happened in the other 69 Verstappen racing car. And man, oh man, is it carnage and chaos here tonight at Pittsburgh for race number 2. Right now, Jackson, though, things are getting a little bit spaced out on the racetrack. Roman and Clay T are going to go after it in the next couple laps or so. I believe Roman had the pace earlier on in the stint, but fell off and into the midfield for race number 2 now, down into 8th position. Goes for a send. Holy Toledo, yeah, coming into the final corner, but look at the stamp and sent it, and the postmaster accepted that delivery.
Late send there from Roman to get 8 by Clay, and all of a sudden that might be another one, because here comes Chris Lovell with a peek further back in the 54 into turn number 1, tries the same late lunge, but not able to get there quite yet. We'll see if he's got that momentum as we work our way out of the left-handed kink, turn 2, and see if there's enough momentum. Here's another peek as we work our way into the 3-4 chicane. Not able to quite get there. Now he gets off the brake early. Is he able to roll that momentum all the way around the outside? How about that? Lick the stamp and sent it for P8, and all of a sudden here comes Andrew Janus as they all accordion together, bumper to bumper to bumper, and somehow with a little bit of an opposite lock, Chris Lovell able to keep it together, but Andrew trying to work forward from P10 here.
Andrew's got a lot of work to do. Let's check out William Rasmussen's drive on Spencer. He's looking apt to making this overtake work in his favor. Coming into corner number 12 currently, only a tenth and a bit back, running off as wide as possible with a big drifterino coming through the kink there, and I don't think that was calm, cool, and collected. He is definitely pushing as hard as he can. Is sitting in P6 right now. Could have been sitting up in P1. A little bit of wheel into the grass moment for William Rasmussen through the kink of 17. He's trying to hold on as much as possible, and he sent it himself and gets the position secured. But now will Spencer try to challenge back leading into corner number 1? I think he's just a little too far back to make this one work.
That might have genuinely been the pass of the year right there from William Rasmussen. Full opposite lock there, going through turn number 16, a pass in the grass for the top 5, and take a bow number 6, as all of a sudden Ali trying to say that was cool, but check this out with a move on Andrew Janus, who again has continued to move back. Was just a incident there with the spinning Cody, who is driven up further into P9, so he's trying to move his way forward as well. And we got to consider here as well, Sauger, Aaron Fitz slowly but surely chipping away on that lead to Dylan. He's all the way at the bumper, and just like that, it's fights on for the lead here in race 2.
Amazing that Aaron was able to make up so much ground on that opening lap due to that first lap incident. Stayed clean of the second incident that took place, made his way up into P3 very quickly, and now he has clean air to just battle it out with Dylan, the three-peat winner from the MX5 series just last night. Go ahead and watch the VOD back in case you're interested. The MX5 Fight Night was absolutely amazing stuff. If you thought this was good racing, the MX5s sure won't disappoint you. Yet again, Jackson Lambros and myself were on the comms for that call. Thank you very much to World of Racing to having us on for such a wonderful event. But we're back tonight for the 296, battling it out at Pittsburgh, trying to go to the outside line. Aaron really sold the dummy there, and I think he felt a little bit guilty of that contact that happened. And Ryan now into the lead of the race. Aaron going wheel to wheel with Dylan currently, but gave that position back and said, you know what, I gave you a nose ahead. That's all you're getting from me, brother.
Ethical wheel from Aaron Fitz. Was there contact there? We didn't see. I'm not sure. But regardless, now Ryan Fitz is able to sneak on through that battle and has already given himself nearly a second of a lead. And this is where we move over to that kind of forced coexistence between Aaron and Dylan. Maybe not so much now, because Aaron still made that move ultimately. He's in front of Dylan now for P2. But what can Dylan do? Is there enough pace still in that 21 to maybe close that gap and stay in contention? He's definitely in the podium spot for the time being, but not too far back. You got Cody as well, putting his head down, trying to close that gap. He's in chase with William Rasmussen. So everybody still in contention, pretty much all the way back here to P5 here with William.
And Williams, no slouch himself, changed for the lead between Aaron and Ryan through the kink of 16. It looks like Aaron was able to get one done and dusted on his brother. Watch out, they're not even brothers in real life. They just happen to have the same names. But Aaron and Ryan gonna go wheel to wheel for the entry to corner number 1. I can't believe that Ryan's gonna try to let this one slide, and he won't let it slide coming into corner number 1. Tried to hold on to the inside line, but backed out of it pretty quickly there. Checking with Cody and Cody and William Rasmussen's battle. The 21 trails the number 6 currently, running 2/10 in the rear.
We'll see what Cody can do here. But again, has just been really studying. We haven't seen that big ship just yet. Looks like William has been able to go on through, though, and make that move. So now very quickly it becomes a study session. What lines are you running? What's your braking point? What have you been doing to get fast enough to get to my bumper that I haven't been implementing just yet? But very quickly, Sagar, both of these guys have gotten right to the rear bumper, it looks like, of Dylan. So the battle for that bottom spot of the podium looks to be very much alive. Dylan already losing 2 positions from the lead. That was first when there was kind of the dummy we saw sold from Aaron Fitz in turn number 1, went off, and through ethics, Ryan was able to kind of tiptoe on through. So can Dylan stop the bleeding here and walk away with his first podium of the season?
It'll be really hard to keep William Rasmussen behind because the pace is looking really good from him, and he's looking like he wants to make an attack coming into that final corner. They're going to go wheel to wheel, side by side through the kink of corner number 19, and this is going to be a drag all the way down to corner number 1, and it will be Andrew and Chan Young in the background inverting their positions, but up here it'll be William with the fastest lap of the race around the outside, makes that one work in his favor.
Took too big of a chunk on that inside curb. You saw that rear axle almost get completely airborne, and there was no way he was going to be able to save that. So unfortunately, Dylan now back to 7th. That'll allow another spot for Chris Lovell, who we saw, I think, as far back as 12th at some point, Sagar, but continues to charge forward. Lap traffic might be a factor here before the end of the race. We're looking at our map on the right. Rick back in 15th has really struggled in this second race. I think significant damage, unfortunately, to that 21 machine, but that could make things very spicy here as well. And something that kind of surprised us as well in a 2.7 mile course. Not really, didn't have the blue flag out, was not ready to see that, but definitely possible here with just a nick under 7 minutes on the clock. So Chris Lovell, who we're watching now, trying to continue to charge forward. As you look, it really is a 6-car freight train for the lead. Still kind of a 2-car breakaway out in front here, Aaron and Ryan. But after that, it is very tight from William all the way back here to Chris.
Now, question of the day is, does William have the pace to catch up to Ryan and Aaron? He needs to make up 3 seconds in 6.5 minutes time. Can he pull it out? 135.7, 135.9, 136.2. Wasn't faster on that last lap, barring the incident at turn 1 that may have slowed him down a little bit there, but he's got to put down some pretty honking lap times to catch back up. Right now, this is Chris Lovell's recovery drive right now. I believe he goes down all the way into 12th or 14th position even after the restart. He was way far back there and now made his way up into P6. Great recovery drive, back-to-back recovery drives. You hate to see it, but that's just how racing goes. Anything can and will happen in motorsports, and most of the time it does.
Getting the confirmation from Donovan Janis. They are brothers. I figured. It's just, I always got to be careful when I'm quick on the button. That is a mistake I have made. You would be surprised. But talking really quick here about William Rasmussen, he's going to be hoping that these two brothers are actually battling with one another for the race lead here, because that is going to really increase his chances. If these two continue to go offline, throw haymakers at one another, that's going to hurt both of their lap deltas significantly, kind of reeling William back into the mix. But you've got to imagine that the two brothers maybe are coexisting on track for the time being. When is the Fangs going to go out for Ryan is my question. When are you going to surmount that comeback? Because he's certainly within striking distance, but it's going to be an expensive move to take that move for the lead. So when is that going to be? Do you continue to wait in the bumper, or do you think there's enough pace there where you can lead, make that move for the front, and then build a gap on the guy in front of you? Looks like a little bit of a move further back here as Roman tries to go around the outside. As further back, Andrew, I think, just able to clear Chen Young. No, not yet. Let's see what he can do here as he goes all the way to the inside. They'll go too wide before the brakes and will actually fully clear him before the anchor. So Andrew Janis continuing to move his way to the front.
Checking back in with Cody, Roman, and Chris. Still right where we left them. Roman up into 4th place, Cody into 5th, Chris Lovell in the 54, trailing behind, trying to shake up the order of things. Roman did have the pace to get around Cody in this event, and he's looking pretty good. Let's look at the progression so far and see where the drivers started and see where they're ending. Roman's up 2, Cody's down 4, Chris Lovell's up 1. Great recovery drive from Chris so far.
And still potentially some to grab here as we see him just behind Cody here in this white and red 21. So could be potentially 2 here if he's able to mow through both of them. But again, running out of time here in race number 2. Just 3.5 minutes on the clock before we throw the white flag, as it looks like we might have had a crash there for Ollie as well. He's massively off further back. We'll try and grab that when we can. But Ryan Fitz struggling right now to close that gap to Aaron. Looks like a little bit of a buffer has actually been built between them. And of course the commentator's curse, as this is actually Ollie trying to rejoin the track. I thought that's a late graphic from Assetto that really spooked me, because I thought we were going to potentially have a battle for the lead on our hands there. But Ollie dropping back now to, looks like 13th, trying the outside around Clay T. Now tries the over-under. This is the back half of the racetrack. Clay T shuts the door on him, and the battle for the best of the rest very much alive here.
And it's one of the things that I really love about World of Racing and the drivers. They don't care what they're battling for. They just want to have a good, clean race. And whether you just rejoin the track and you're battling at the rear end of the field, Ali locks up the brakes going into corner number 1. Try to go for a late. I can't say how many lates that was, but it was very late from him. Speaking of late, Roman is around, down into P6 he goes, and escapes the clutches of Chris and Cody. Chris gets by Cody in that incident as well, so Lovell up into P4. He's got to be pretty pleased with himself right now, and definitely shaking his head saying, what could have been, what could have was tonight.
No, absolutely, but all of a sudden that will advance Chris up into P4. Talked about that being the last 2 realistic positions you could get in this race, and he was able to grab both of them. I think that was maybe capitalizing on that position. But Cody, how about that for a move? Big lunge there into turn number 16, and just like that was able to take that move back, but not out of the woods yet. Went very deep there into the final corner of 16, and that'll give Chris another opportunity. Tucked all the way into the back. Cody goes middle of the track trying to defend, and will force Lovell to go the wrong way around. Let's see, a little bit too deep there from Cody, and we'll go single file again. But what a move back to P4 there for Cody.
Cody is really trying to challenge Lovell right now, but Lovell hasn't given up hope coming into corners number 3 and 4. He's looking like he is on the pounce himself, trying to clinch on to as many points as possible for this championship to secure his place in Tustin, California for the grand finale of this event. 2/10 the gap right now separating the two of them. Roman's done enough work to catch back up to them as well, and he's looking right into the back of them, and there goes Cody off all by his lonesome, going into, I believe that'll be corner number 9.
sold him the dummy, and man, he paid it in cash. Cody dropping all the way back to 9th now. That'll be just in front of Chan Young. We'll see if he'll be able to get it back. But with 20 seconds to go, oh man, it's going to be close here. Will this be the white flag, or will this be the checkered? Regardless, it's looking really good for Aaron Fitz, who, after a mistake from his brother, has built a 1.5-second gap. And this is going to be right at the line. We'll get the white flag this time by. One more opportunity for Ryan to try and close that gap to his brother.
Literally milliseconds left on the clock when Aaron crossed the line. The midnight was called. The drivers are turning into pumpkins, or the Ferraris are turning into pumpkins. It's because it was a chariot, not the driver. Anyways, the Aaron Fritz train is begun for the final time. Ryan in P2, William in 3rd place, really trying to put in the hard work, but that 3-second gap just remained right there at that 3-second margin, never quite came back down. Andrews had a roller coaster of an event tonight, all the way up into, I believe, P4 at one point in time, involved into an incident and then tumbled down towards the back of the pack. Got back into the fight and then got bumped back into the Netherlands and just never recovered after that. And all the way to Pittsburgh, he's just not having a great run of things this evening. I wonder what it is, Jackson.
Unfortunately, I think some of that, he's going to think this is funny, I hope, but it's just that bad luck from Rock getting back at him, man. It's just being involved, having phenomenal pace, but getting that incident, getting involved in stuff that you weren't involved in the first place and not really having anything you could do about it. Kind of the opposite here for Aaron Fitz as he runs to the checkered flag and will go from 7th to 1st to take race number 2 here at Pittsburgh. Ryan Fitz makes it a brother 1-2 yet again. William Rasmussen gains 6 positions to come home in P3. Chris Lovell up 3 positions as well for P4, and Roman ends up the best of the rest in terms of that 3-pack battle, home in 5th. Dylan, starting on pole, drops a handful of positions and comes home in 6th. Spencer, Cody, Andrew, Chan Young, your top 10.
Christopher bringing it home in 11th position as well, crossing the line just in front of your screen. Clay T in 12th position. Ali down 10 positions on the night will bring home 13th, and Cody S, the number 69, will bring home 14th position as he comes across the line in just a few moments' time. Let's head back over to the broadcast booth to wrap things up, Jackson.
As we take you back here, Jackson Lambro, Sagar Bakshi starting to wind things down after another thrilling night of racing here at World of Racing, and we knew it was going to be a challenging environment here at Pittsburgh. I think this might have been, though, the hardest track car combination we've seen yet. Motegi surprised us. I think even you look at the supercars at the Bend, we were seeing back and forth racing, not the same kind of environment here tonight.
No, not at all. This was super challenging, a very tight and twisty racetrack that was grueling for the drivers to have to contend with this evening. They were really putting out everything they possibly could to get these overtakes done and dusted. I think Aaron and Ryan did a great job of analyzing the track, analyzing the drivers that were around them, and making those moves happen super early so they didn't have to worry about it later in the race, Jackson.
So William Rasmussen, your conglomerate results again, your night winners is actually the results and points from both of the nights. So $300 richer is William Rasmussen. Second place is Aaron Fitz. Andrew Janis, despite that chaos in race number 2, still put up a very solid main race and will stand on the podium in P3. Not entirely sure what your points picture is like as we head into the final round, but we do have your track car combination, and it will be the Volvo. It's a very British combo chat. It's the Volvo 850 Estate, the British touring car at Oulton Park. And I cannot think of a better way to really end things off. It's that extra little level of craziness that we need. Is there any wheel knowledge here for you, Sagar, before I totally geek out here? Or?
No, go for it, please.
All right. So late 80s, early 90s British touring car championship. in its halcyon days, millions and millions of pounds sterling bumped into the series. Volvo wants skin in the game. They don't really have a great car to do it just yet. They've got estates on the way, or they've got sedans on the way. The only thing they could use at the time, though, was the 850 station wagon. And it was constantly fighting for podiums, fighting for wins. It was genuinely one of the faster cars out there. But, I mean, you had super saloons, coupes, these crazy front-wheel drive beasts, Volvo 3, BMW 3 Series, insanely physical racing. And in the middle of it, this front-wheel drive souped-up station wagon. Ned Flanders balling in Britain. It was awesome. Just kind of that weird era of motorsports, and very, very cool to see. So you get that combined with a very physical, very narrow course like Oulton Park. Again, very tough, very, very challenging track to overtake. Don't see a lot of cars quicker than GT3s out there, but more than likely we're going to see the same level of wheel-to-wheel racing here. Starting to wrap things up, though, Sauger, your closing thoughts here from Pittsburgh.
Can't wait for BTCC to take effect at Oulton Park in a 1 week's time. Really looking forward to it. Closing thoughts are congratulations to everybody that participated in the Proto Series Championship. This was an amazing series to watch grow week after week, and the driver's skill. I still want to give my hats off to Chris Lovell. He's got to be my favorite of the night right now. Just plugged away at getting those positions back again and again, getting taken out again and again, fighting forward and getting P4 in heat number 2. Don't want to say driver of the day, but driver of the day for me.
I would absolutely agree with you, and a couple of guys as well. I mean, Andrew Janis as well, making some big moves as well. I think you look back at some other guys. Cody had some phenomenal moves as well. Roman was surviving in that furball in the midfield. Always entertaining racing, right? And that's what makes Pro Series so brilliant to watch. And folks, we have got an absolute thriller coming your way next Wednesday for the grand finale before we punch some tickets to the finale in Tustin. But again, this world is going to keep on spinning. The Road Atlanta 2.4 hours this Saturday. I believe it'll be Sagar Bakshi on call for that. And we'll do this one more time next Wednesday. It's time to get things shut down for now. We thank you so much for watching, and we hope you enjoyed, whether you were center side driving or watching across the world here on YouTube. We hope you had as much fun viewing as me and Sagar did watching. For everyone at AK Esports UK, he's Sagar Bakshi. I'm Jackson Lambro saying bye for now from the world of racing.